Hey, happy Sunday, guys! From the heart of Lovecraft Country and the birthplace of American religious liberty, my name is Shanthan Jetty. You're watching Shanthan Jetty Art, and it's not just me. It's not just me, it's all of you amazing people that are here. Welcome to Comics and Curios Inside the Studio, and as many of you know, I have a friend with me as always, right over here. You know, I've got to come up with a really good name. Like I'm like Thulu Shay. I can't quite get it there, but we got to come up with a special name for this guy right over here. We do. He belongs here in the studio. He's chilling like a villain. And that's what it is. That's how it goes. Let me say hey to all you fine people. Then we're going to talk about all kinds of cool stuff going on. Oh, my brother, Mark's Music Obsession. Saying, Brother Shanth, and hail, Jeremy. Hail to you, Mark's Music Obsession. I was just talking about you yesterday with Mrs. Ingetti, and I was talking about, I'm going to talk about the Nosfero proof, which I'm really excited. I approved the digital proof, and now they're sending me it's a little extra money, but they're sending me a proof on the printers of both books so that I can see exactly as close as they can get to what the colors of your books are going to be. So it's going to be on the printers that they're using. So I cannot wait. And I was talking about that, and I was talking about, Mark and the Nosfero Second Chance campaign and how excited I am to get that thing rolling. So it's great to see you, Jeremy Burt's art. By the way, great work this week, man. Beautiful piece of art. If you guys aren't following Jeremy Burt's art on X, make sure you do. I've been in this whirlwind. I've been like a whirling dervish. I've been out of sorts, as they say. Cattywampered, some might even say. Although I think I'm using that out of context, perhaps out of pocket. Things have been nuts, but I saw the piece you were working on, or you put up, Jeremy, and it's an outstanding piece, and great job, man. Well done. We've got Mo Biggs in the house. Where are you, Mo Biggs? We've got Leighton Gay here. What's up, Leighton? How are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Infamous Mr. Kirst is here. I bow to you, sir. It's great to see you. There's Mo Biggs. There's Mo Biggs saying, hail the chat. It's great to see you. And of course, Cursed Heart Creations. Thank you so much for this wonderful Thulu. He keeps me company. Yes, indeed. We're going to dim the house lights. We're going to have a wonderful Sunday. And guys, these words are true. Let me tell you. You guys make the Sunday. It's great. So glad to hear it. So glad to hear it, guys. What's up, Drummer on Fire? I hope you are doing well, and I hope you are drumming, my friend, and keeping us all in time with your rhythm. We appreciate you. Let me see here. Everybody's saying hello, hello. Not going to rub in how amazing the weather is here. Please don't. It's dreary. It's dreary up here. Yeah. Oh my gosh, man. It's been pretty dreary. But my son is getting good weather down in y'all's neck of the woods. I mean, not quite in your neck of the woods, but in the vicinity. And name the cryptid contest. Ooh, that could be cool. What's up, K-pop junkie? Let me talk to you, K-pop junkie. Hang on a second. We need to take a moment to talk to K-pop junkie. What is up with Target's drop of the BTS lights for the concert? I think that was criminal. They were criminally undersupplied for that. Many a K-pop fan had their hearts broken, and shameful stuff. And to you I send a hearty Jimin. All right, let me see here. Crothulu, I like that. That's good. That's right. Let me see here. All right, everybody. Yeah, Jeremy, really stunning work. Really stunning work, man. Everybody's saying hello to each other. I love it. And holy cow, my goodness, cats and kittens, look at this. Mark's, has it already been? Mark's Music Obsession celebrates 30 months of membership. Gonna be awesome, brother. Listen, I'm going to tell you all of the crazy behind-the-scenes hijinks that happens when you're trying to figure out the color on something like this. It was just preposterous. I mean, it was ridiculous in terms of just the minutia of triple and quadruple checking. But I'm going to send you some cheerleaders, because when someone's a channel member and they're celebrating an anniversary, or we have to send them cheerleaders. We must have cheerleaders forthwith. There we go. So we are back at it like a bag about to have a duck bacon. What's up, brother? It is great to see you. That is one of my favorite icons. I love it. It is crazy. You know, it's just nuts. Yes, tell me about Jim. And somewhere my daughter is cracking up right now. Hail K-pop junkie. And yes, indeed, everybody is saying hello, 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 hello. Indeed, yeah. Target, don't be sorry. Be better, right? That's what we say to Target. All right, guys. So here's some cool news, some updates. We're gonna talk about art. I'm gonna do some sketching. I'm working on a layout page. But here's all the cool stuff going on. So as many of you guys know, the printer who originally printed all of my books, my first 2 art books and Nosfero, they went out of business, largely probably due to lockdowns, and the financial stress that put on businesses and having employees be able to come into work. And so I found a great new printer thanks to Graham Nolan. And it's whenever you work with a printer for a long time, you come up with a sort of shorthand. And when you go to a new printer who's located here in the States, in Tennessee, whenever you go to a new printer, there's things that you have to remember that you haven't thought of. And now remember, the Nosfero Second Chance campaign isn't making 1 book. It's making 2 books. The art edition and the oxidized edition have completely different interiors, different covers. So we're proofing 2 books for the first time. And that is a lot. That is a lot of looking over things, making sure the color's right. And they've been great. But there was this thing that happened that speaks to all of the kind of minutia, where there was a color issue with one of the books in the proofing process, and then I couldn't figure out why we couldn't get the colors to match what I had. And what I realized is that I needed to look at their files, open the PDF online to see the color they were using, and I was downloading it and it was changing the colors, because that's what you have to do during a digital proof process. And so all of this stuff is just weeks of balancing things out, getting them to work, because these guys are going to be doing, I have no doubt in my mind, God willing and the creek don't rise, they're going to be doing Springball. And so it's really great to have a home for my books, a new home for my books. They're printed here in the U.S., which was really important to me. And they're great people to work with. We were cracking each other up. And for those of you guys who didn't notice, I was not on Hard Art this past Wednesday, because what day is it even today? That's how bad it's been. On Monday, I think it was. Oh my God, this week so much has happened. I had to get dental work on 2 molars, my 2 rear molars on the left side, and because he wanted to get them done, and get us rolling and get these things resolved, we did them both in one visit, and it took me out. So it was crazy. It was crazy. There you go. Uh-oh, I noticed what's going on here. Good question, Target Better. Okay, I may have missed something. There you go. But yeah, so you noticed me not on hard art. Yes. And so, I mean, guys, the thing that is, but it's, what I told my dentist, actually, as you can imagine, everybody I know I talk to. Like, we have even dentists, which is hard. And what I wasn't not what I wasn't prepared for, it wasn't my first rodeo when it comes to dental work, is even though the anesthesia, which I need a lot of anesthesia because I have, let's just put it like, I don't respond. I'm not a cheap date with anesthesia, so I take a lot of Novocaine. And the exhaustion you feel, like your body doesn't feel the pain, but it remembers it, even though your mind doesn't process it. And so my body was just like, we need to rest and figure out what the heck you just did over here. And so it's cool. I'm going to, in 2 weeks, I get my permanent crowns on and all that stuff. But this is some medical advice. I don't like to give out medical advice. Don't take this as medical advice. But when you're in your youth, when you're 11, 12, or 13 years old, and you find yourself at parties with college kids for whatever reason, I don't know who was minding the store, do not impress the older kids with your ability to open beer bottles with your teeth. Don't do it. It's not good for your future. So make sure you don't involve yourself in that kind of business, because apparently 9 out of 10 dentists don't advise that. So yeah, so that was me, youth. I've almost no idea what's going on because things have been so crazy this week. But let's talk about all of the exciting stuff, and let me tell you guys, Springball's coming along great. I'm working on 2 documentaries. Nosfero, they are putting together the printer proof, the physical proof to send it here. Oh yeah, the table. Let me tell you something, Moromi, and happy Sunday. It's great to see you, man. The tabletop technique is definitely better. Definitely better for your teeth. Yeah, nope, not recommended, said Cursed Art Creation. So we're getting a lot of people weighing in on the lack of soundness of many of my plans that I had in this world when I was 11 and 12. It wasn't great. Jeremy Burtz is saying, hey, Moromi, and happy Sunday, everybody. So here's all the cool stuff going on. So we have got both Nosfero proofs are right now being put together. The physical proofs, the digital proofs are already set, are being put together by production, and they're going to be sent out to me probably next day as soon as they print them, put them together, check the colors and all of that kind of stuff, because I want to go through several stages of making sure the colors are okay before we print the books. And what's great is that I'll get a really close look at what they look like when I do this process, which is the same one I did at my previous printer. And I cannot wait to get those to you guys. It has been a journey getting those things together, and the not having the printer. And so what's nice is I now have a routine with these guys that I've been building over the last couple of months, especially with the new year and all of that stuff. Everybody goes away. What's up, Grey Wolf Graphics? How are you doing, brother? It's great to see you. I updated the channel member credits, but I was just flying through things. Took my wife out to see a movie. We saw Project Hail Mary yesterday, which was a lot of fun. So tons of cool stuff going on, and I want to make sure I share that stuff with you, even though I don't know whether to scratch my watch or wind my behind. Sup, Grey Wolf. So this is Mark's Music Obsession. So let's take a look at, and let's talk about some of the fun stuff we've been working on. And I want to show you guys some fun stuff about the process of when I'm working on things. Let me see here. Let's open some stuff here. Let's open some stuff. Fun times. I just saw the file for the channel member credits come up. And I want to show you some scribbly layouts, if I may. If I may share with you some scribbly layouts, if that's all right. So let me see here. Oh yeah, I labeled it this one, which is important for me in terms of how I solve things. I love I would name a layer this one. I'm not saying we're not a professional outfit, but I'm not saying we are. Entire screen I don't need. I just need current application. But I need Photoshop is the main one I need. So for those of you guys wondering how loose and painterly the approach is, these are some pages that are building towards the climax of Springball Terminal Monstosity issue number 1. The link is in the description. Now, if you know the book and you watched the trailer before the show started, You know what my finishes look like as of right now. More detail is always being added. But this right here is a sequence that I put together. Damn noisy jet skis. I'm watching Chomp. That's very Florida, man. Gotta love it. Matthew Rumor just became a member. Matthew, what the heck is going on? My God. Matthew Rumor, welcome and thank you for becoming a channel member. Holy cow, welcome aboard, my friend. What's up, Darth Gutierrez? Yes, indeed. Hail Chomp, hail Springball. I was wondering. Seriously, there you go. Let me play some cheerleaders for you and welcome Matthew Rumor to becoming a channel member. Here are your cheerleaders, good sir. We must have cheerleaders forthwith. Charge! Charge! Make sure you take advantage of those custom emojis and put some spring balls in the chat. Welcome, new member. You will be added to the credits. Christopher Brown got my new Grey Wolf. Oh, cool. Logo working. It's like the MGM lion, but with a howling wolf. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. That's so great, man. Terrific. See, I love that kind of stuff, man. You gotta love it. So yeah, so for those of you guys who are wondering in terms of what the process is of creating and writing and things like that when I'm doing Springball, this is what it is. So I want to do things that you can only do in comics, and I think that's what most of us talk about, the things that you can do in comics and how you can push the envelope. Matthew Rumor says, too much, just had a meeting with the artist at, an artist at the Kubert School for the Fan Fest. That's right, Matthew. That's excellent. Let me see. Are you saying too much is going on? Just had a meeting with an artist at the Kubert School for the Fans Fest. Got it. I just put that together, Matthew. Awesome. And it's great to see you here, brother. Hello, everybody, says Eno Sheeran. Is that what it is? Eno, like Brian Eno Sheeran? Or hopefully I got it right. Let me know. And everybody's saying hello to Maromi. Great to see all you guys. So this right here, this page is building sort of towards the climax of this story and where it's going. Oh, and by the way, Matthew, since I've got you here, can you do me a favor? People were asking last week when I was talking about For the Fans Fest, if you want to put information into things, do you have links that you want to be able to share, Matthew? Let me know. Let me know if you have links you want to be able to share, and I'll try to take care of that here. But people were asking about For the Fans Fest, and I was telling them about the approximate date, because you know how it is when you're streaming, and I was telling them, October, Atlantic City, and all of that stuff. And yeah, I was just, telling them, I was like, if you want to see me there, I shall be there, and all that great stuff. And so let me know if you need that, and I will figure out how to make it so you can post links. Let me see here. Oh, I do, but I'm stuck. Oh, got it. Excellent. Let me know. Stuck. I figured it out. Yeah. What's up, Noxie? How are you doing? It's good to see you, my friend. I hope you are well and welcome and happy Sunday. So let me show you guys. Excuse me. Let me show you guys some of what the process is. So in the story, one of the things I want to do with the climax is start talking about scale, start talking about how, a cliffhanger that shows every single thing building that's really worth it. And I had a previous cliffhanger that when I looked at it in light of everything that's building in the front part of the book, when I got to the end of it, I thought, this isn't big enough. This isn't big enough. It's not even really, it's kind of a cliffhanger, but it's more like just an escalation of the drama needed to be high enough for where it's going to go. And so this right here is the layout work that I do in digital, but it's actually going to be the work because I do my sketch layouts, and I can look at this and I can tell you I can already see the limitations of working in painting. So I actually went over here, and let me show you guys this right here. Let's see here. Let's move this, and that will hopefully prevent some motion sickness. Let's move this, and then Ooh, there we go. Let's move this, and then I'm going to turn this layer off. Okay. So this is right here where I explore the limitations of drawings. My parents were Brian Eno fans, but it's pronounced as elevator, if that makes sense. Oh my lord. Okay. Is it? Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's Eno Sheeran. Am I saying it correctly? Let me know. I'm going to do my best. So when I'm my natural reflexes and my natural way that I've trained my hand in terms of work goes. What's up, Don Draw Stuff? Good to see you, my friend. The way that my hand works in terms of it is the muscle memory for drawing and the muscle memory and approach to painting are two very different things. So the layout page that you saw before, got it. Thank you, Eno Sharon. I appreciate it. The approach when I'm looking at this stuff and I'm looking at my work is that something happens when I'm drawing that helps me to appreciate what I want to do with perspective and how I want to see things. Now, the idea for this shot is you've got a spiral staircase going down, and then there is a creepy ritual that's going on down here. And you've got these almost like Stonehenge-esque little tablets here that have skulls on them. And then there's this kind of watery ground here because that's going to be an important part of the story. What's up, Shadowhawk Talks? How are you doing, man? Great to see you. 100%. Great to see all you guys here in the chat. Much appreciated. And so that's where I'm kind of putting everything together, is having this happen. And then at the same time, when I'm working on how this stuff works, what I really wanted to do is do one of those crazy perspectives. That was the initial plan, where I've got Springball coming down this spiral staircase in this sort of almost like a well, and he's looking down and he's stumbling upon this. But getting the perspective to be comic book right is the biggest issue for me, and that's more of a drawing thing than anything else, because what I want to do when I'm working is absolutely, yeah, when you see skull rituals, well, a lot of the stuff that I do comes from listening to Art Bell late at night. So that's a major factor of this stuff is just looking at Art Bell and or listening to Art Bell while I work. And I always think of this great Art Bell story about this Border Patrol agent coming upon in the middle of the night some fires out down by the Rio Grande, and him and his partner stumbling upon a ritual and being like, what the heck is going on, and then bugging out of there. It was one of the ghost to ghost stories. And I just think about how Art Bell and his amazing radio ghost to ghost Halloween special created such a great sense of mystery and awe and wonder, and it's right up the alley of the vibe of Springball and what I want to do with it. And so a lot of times, even though I work digital sometimes and work traditional other times, I'm always going to do whatever works for getting the layout to work, because there's no nothing I do is dogmatically got to be done this way or got to be done that way. It's all about what gets the best results. And even when it comes to doing the live streams and figuring out like what's the kind of show I want to do and what's the kind of show that I think I can sustain and organizing it. Like Mrs. Ingetti was in the other room when I was getting ready for the show, and she goes, "It sounds like you're about to launch a spaceship." And I was like, "It kind of feels like that." I was like, "Okay, are the credits done? Do I have fresh water for my painting water over here?" All of that stuff. It's just crazy. How is it GoFundMe going? Is that what it is, Matt? Okay, there we go. Oh, wait, where are we? Did I miss something? GoFundMe. The website. The website goes like... Sorry, it took me a second to put together what you meant. Website goes live when the crowdfund finishes. I showed off the Fund My Comic page and all the tiers on the Comicsgate Live a few days. Oh, excellent, great. Hang on a second, man. This is harder than it has to be for both of us. Let me see here. Where is it? My stars and garters. Okay. Let me pause that. Let me find you. Where are you, my friend? Where are you, my friend? Where are you? There we go. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's see how this goes. All right, Matt. Let me see if let me know if you're a moderator now, so you can post those links so that people can be ready to fund and back. Oh, it's driving home. My fingers are fat. No, that's fine. No. You're totally fine. Drive carefully. Do not. Yeah. Be safe first. We will get there. I don't want anybody to get in a wreck. So let me see here. All right. So there you go. You've been modded, I think. So you should be able to post the links to the GoFundMe and the Fund My Comic on there. So here we go. So you can see the thing about gouache, and even in a sketchbook like this is a Strathmore toned tan sketchbook. You can see how it takes the paint really well, and that the gouache is really nice and opaque. A lot of that is with the opaque watercolors. These aren't just regular watercolors, remember. These are opaque watercolors, which means they have more opacifier in them. You can't use transparent watercolors thickly enough to make them do what opaque watercolors do, but you can water opaque watercolors down. Oh, it's just Fund My Comic. Got you, Matthew. It's just Fund My Comic. So they're waiting for the approval process to go through. There we go. And so I can then draw over this, but I can also rough in my values. And I could even take this if I wanted to, in theory, and take a phone photo of this, bring it into Photoshop if there was something in this that I felt like I needed to, keep consistent, that I captured in here that I couldn't just eyeball. And so for me, I want the staircases on the walls of this very kind of creepy well/pit, very Lovecraft, very Edgar Allan Poe. I want the stairs to have broken so it's almost, gives it that ancient sort of quality. Nothing. I did some stuff when I was in college where we went and we would do things like go into abandoned trolley tunnels that ran under College Hill in Providence. Now remember, again, this is H.P. Lovecraft's hometown, so this is the place where H.P. Lovecraft was writing his stories, living. It influenced everything, and he said, "I am Providence, and Providence is me." So that's H.P. Lovecraft in a nutshell. And so when I'm was doing all of this stuff, you just get an understanding of what an old New England city is like in terms of its ancient nature and its creepy nature, and it's just filled with all of this stuff. The Art and Times of Jay Ryan, what's up? We all experimented in college, Sean. It happens. You know what I mean? Listen, around here, love is love. Even if it's love for 1/12 scale action figures, or most importantly, Thulu crochet art. So never forget it, guys. Never forget it. We accept you, whatever fickles your tancy around these parts. That's how it goes. And I just started thinking about how when you see these older cities, I know this is the same case in a lot of cities, that there are these vast underground networks. And I think of in Paris the what do you call them? The catacombs in Paris, all of that kind of stuff, man. That's what it's about. Boom. And I love that ancient quality of American cities, because we were and are, for a very long time, we're a very, new country in theory. We're celebrating our 250th birthday. Happy birthday, America, this year. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm a bicentennial baby, so I was born on our 200th anniversary, so I couldn't be happier. And so yeah, so I think a lot of times we get separated from that. We don't realize like how many things have been built on top of things and built on top of other things, things that are hidden. And so much of Kingsport, which is where Springball takes place, so much of Kingsport is inspired by Providence, by H.P. Lovecraft's Providence. And some of the buildings and some of the scenes and settings obviously were that are being referenced in here were built, and H.P. Lovecraft walked past them when he was living in Providence. So I love that kind of stuff. My wife found herself under the Opera House in Paris. Wasn't supposed to be there. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa, indeed. Shadowhawk Talk says, slowly but better than nothing. I'm going to do some auctions with, is it Omer Glitch? Hopefully next week. If I'm up to it, thanks for helping my family. What is happening? Shadowhawk Talks, what is happening? I missed something. What is happening? We are all experienced college. Chinese, K-pop junkies is 112 gem figures. There you go. The art times. My wife found. Hey, Duck. What am I missing? I feel like I missed something significant. Yes, let me know. Oh, you don't have the direct link. Gotcha. Hang on. Let me see here. If any of my mods have that link, can you throw that in the chat? Because I just realized I'm going to tax my system too much. If any of you mods know what is being talked about and assistance is needed, post that link for me, please. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Oh, for God's sake. Hang on a second. You guys know how I am. Trying to behave, but I can't stop myself. Oh, you dropped the link. Awesome. Okay, good. You are a moderator. Just making sure. I wasn't sure if you were a moderator or not. Good. All right. There we go. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, knee surgery, man. I think the thing that's coming for me, knee surgery might be in my cards, but I think that shoulder surgery will definitely happen before that. Guys, if you haven't clicked the link, click the like yet, please do, and feel free to share it out and tell people we're hanging out here, although I think most people probably know that. And but you never know. You never know who might need some Sunday painting and some hanging out inside the studio. So this will give you a sense. These layouts, in a lot of ways, whether I'm working digital or traditional, I'm sure I speak for everybody when we say it's our pleasure. I think the link posted. Yeah, I think it did. It should be here. Mark got it. So yes, help out Shadowhawk if you can, you want and can, and there's the link up there, guys. So click on that link if you want to help Shadowhawk, and yeah, let's get that done and get that knee sorted. That ain't no fun. That ain't no fun at all. Let me see here. So yeah, when I'm looking at this kind of thing, the idea of creating a sense of mystery and the idea of creating a sense of history, both inside of a comic book and inside of a fictional city, are such important things. And one of the things that happens with rulered perspective a lot of times, and it doesn't have to happen, so it's not saying rulers in perspective are bad. I definitely use my share of rulers. Is that sometimes you can lose the organic quality of how older cities look and how they're put together. And I remember hearing about when, in the bonus features, when Robert Eggers was talking about doing the settings, the sets for Nosferatu. He talked about the fact, he was like, throw away your T-squares. He's like, I don't need this perfect. I need this to feel like an ancient sort of Romanian village. And that's a really important thing. I mean, I had some apartments on gosh, what street was it? On Main Street in just threw my brush. Had an apartment on Main Street in Providence, and I dropped a pencil on the floor, and it rolled across the floor to the corner, because the floor on this apartment that was an old house was not close to level. And that's how it works. Use water weights and stave it off for a while yet, Shanth. I will. I'm going to work on it. Yeah, it's, yeah, my shoulders are something to behold. They're a bit of a mess. So let me see here. Yeah, I definitely need to build up the muscles on my shoulders for that. I was doing some physical therapy for it a few years back. You know, doing you lay on your back and then you rotate it, rotate it in a circle. And it builds up all those muscles that hold your shoulder in place, which is a good thing. I'm a big believer in keeping your shoulder in its place. And I don't mean that in an authoritarian way, but a little bit. You know what's interesting about this is I'm looking at what I'm making here. I just realized it reminds me of something, and then I'm okay with it. Hang on a second. I'm going to put on the Springball trailer real quick so I can blow my nose because it needs to happen. All right, here you go. There you guys go, Springball. Guys, this comic is going to be so cool. I knew it was going to be something special when I came back to it and I started working on it, and all these ideas started coming together. But it's really going to be cool. It's not going to be like anything you've ever seen. You're going to want to be able to say you backed the book, you were there, and you owned the book. And I feel really, really comfortable saying that completely. It's kind of strange, but with independent comics, one of the things that's so great is that there's this line between telling a story and working within a genre of comics. In this case, it's superheroes, but then it's bringing something together and putting together a mixture that hasn't happened before, or I should say, is for the audience you're in. And are things that you really want to see in comics. And I remember, if this makes sense, I remember when I saw Evil Dead 2 for the first time, and even Evil Dead 1, which I like. These guys in Tennessee, funny enough, of in my stomping ground, went out to the middle of nowhere and decided to make a movie. And that movie was not like something that would have been made anywhere else. It was just they didn't know what they could and couldn't do, or they forgot to even think about what they could or couldn't do. They just thought about what they wanted to see. And it's but they also told a story. They introduced a lexicon. Also, again, Springball is Evil Dead meets Spider-Man is what I've been saying. And the Evil Dead part of it is a very important part of it, because I love Halloween, I love monsters, I love Cthulhu. Thank you again, Cursed Heart Creations. I love all of that kind of stuff, and I love it in a very sincere way. I don't love it in a surfacey way. I don't love it in isn't this a hip thing to like kind of way. I've done deep dive research into H.P. Lovecraft, deep dive research into Providence in the time he was living there. Like what was happening? What were the streets like? What was the transit like? And then I do the historical research on the different places his books take place in. What was going on in New Orleans during the time of Call of Cthulhu? What was going on in Providence? What did the streets look like when Professor Angel, named of course, inspired by the man who Angel Street was named after, had his heart attack that was very suspicious climbing College Hill, where I went to school, and our dormitory on College Hill is where me and Mrs. Ingetti had our first kiss. It's amazing how these things tie together, and I think that horror and scary things are something very primal, and they're not just they can be many things, but it's not about the cliche, and not even the cliches. It's not about there's a poetry to horror. There's a poetry to a good scare. When I look at something like The Haunted Mansion, when I look at something like one of my favorite books, The Dunwich Horror, The Shadow over Innsmouth, there's a lot around the horror that makes the horror work. And to me, the superhero genre is perfect for it. But I don't want to put, as much as I love Todd McFarlane to bits, I don't want to put Spawn in a horror environment, because Spawn fits so well. I like Ash in Evil Dead. And I should say young Ash in Evil Dead, when he first shows up and he has no idea what is happening. What is up, Rachel Brinkley? How are you doing? It's great to see you. God, I love that icon. It's so good. We have a law and pop culture extracurriculum at my YouTube. No kidding. And it would be great to have you as a guest. Oh, that's awesome. Last time we had a discussion about Superman, Batman. Oh, and the legality of their actions. Wow, that's very cool. I'm really into law, in case you're wondering, or I'm fascinated by it. You can tell by the effects. There you go. Yes, indeed. Yeah, absolutely. Cancel Curialt. Yes, indeed. Everybody's saying hello to Rachel Brinkley. Did I miss anything else? Had my knee done? Yeah, I know, guys. I will tell you. It's I think we're going to find some good ways of dealing with that stuff very, very soon. I do feel as though we're on the brink of a lot of different breakthroughs. And a lot of different breakthroughs in terms of what our understanding of history and our understanding of what's possible. We always go through phases in our evolution as a species where we feel like we're stuck for a while, but those things, those moments of tension are always before we have a breakthrough in a particular way in our understanding of things. And we've come to understand a lot of different stuff. Yeah, Evil Dead 2 is one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, it's one of mine too. One of my things I keep, almost one of the closest things I keep in my line of sight is, of course, Ash from Evil Dead 2. And I love the fact that for those of us who can't, make a hobby out of highly expensive statues, NECA is making some outstandingly accurate stuff, including, even though it only has one spread, because it is plastic, a really great Necronomicon book that comes with Ash. And what a great heroic character, because Springball is in a city that he doesn't know everything that's going on in it. Excuse me. So he's dealing with street level crime, and all of the kind of grotesqueries of the criminal element that we've come to appreciate. And there are some extraordinary grotesqueries there. But he also is the kind of person who his mind can absorb that, and because he's this, really this invented. I mean, he was an invention. He's not a human being. He was designed as a crash test dummy, and but instead, as chance would have it, the caprice of the fates would have it, several events happened, or I should say, his creation was one, and then a thing that happened we're going to get to basically made him a free agent. And then he had to look at himself and say, I have all of these abilities that were designed for me to be able to take a beating and serve a particular purpose, and now that purpose is no longer something I'm serving. What else could I use these for? And he realized, much like Edmond Dantes in Count of Monte Cristo, that he's able to... Oh, I sent it as a super chat. What happened? Did I miss a super chat? Yes, okay. Oh, I'm doing better these days. What did I miss? Where's the super chat? We have long culture. Let me know if I missed the super chat here. I don't have it, but it should be here if you sent it. Siege Perilous. Usually it tells me if I have a super chat, but let me know if I do. Because I'm springballing. There you go. Springball, can can outdance Speedball. I bet. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I know. And love to Ditko, by the way. Yeah, Ditko had some wild characters. What stream was I on? Oh, you meant you sent the previous message as a super chat, but it didn't go through. Let me know if it went through and I missed it. Let me see. Because it's not showing up for me as a super chat, but do let me know. Oh, they can charge your account for it. So what was the comment? Just type it again and I'll read it as a super chat. The original Springball fan has checked in. Speaking of Springball, man, going all the way back to 2002. What is up, Stormtrooper Julian? Oh my gosh. Is it Stormtrooper Julian Caesar? Or Caesar? Caesar. Stormtrooper Julian Caesar. Oh, God help me. Oh my gosh. Mikey's Madness, how are you doing? Hail to you, and glad to see you here. And yeah, let me know, I know what the comment was you wanted me to read as a super chat, because I'm happy to do it. I see Shanth is doodling today, Face Blue Eyes. Yes, I'm doodling because I'm talking about the different aspects, the different elements of what I do and how I work back and forth between traditional and digital. And in the writing of Springball, you can see also that I will have where I write out in script, like I will write notes at the same time I'm doing artwork. I have to work in that way in order for me to get the most I can out of my creative process. So I like the idea of all of us. I'd like to think, as Jack Kirby was saying in this video I was watching the other day, and you guys are going to see this as a hard art interstitial video, hopefully. Yeah, Caesar. Got it. Oh, it was the university message. Yeah, that is weird. Okay, well, let me play you some cheerleaders because you sent a super chat. So here you go, my friend. Charge! Charge! There we go. Thank you so much. Yeah, next time if you send in a super chat and it doesn't show up for me as a super chat, do let me know. And I will make sure that we get that taken care of, because that's weird. I hope nobody else is sending a super chat. I saw Mark's channel member, 30 months before, so that came through. But for some reason, that one didn't show up. So what I was thinking as I was working on this is one of my favorite Guillermo del Toro movies is Pan's Labyrinth. And as I was working on this, and I'm putting in these Stonehenge pillars, and then I'm seeing this ground plane here with a circle with concentric circles in it. I'm like, oh my god, this looks like the pit with the spiral staircase going down to it in Pan's Labyrinth. Even though, yeah, it's in a building, but I go, wow, it's amazing how the visual metaphor of the spiral, the visual metaphor of the circle and the pit and all of that stuff, we see this over and over and over again, and it's something that speaks to the human psyche for some reason. And every time I do something in a particular genre, I mean, the horror genre has the spiral staircase, it has all of those elements to it, but that idea of the hidden ancient is very appealing to me. And I think one of the things that made me fall in love with Pan's Labyrinth and The Devil's Backbone, which for my money, I think you have to say that Pan's Labyrinth is Guillermo del Toro's finest movie or masterpiece, I would say. And I think that The Devil's Backbone, though, is it's like comparing Seven Samurai to Rashomon. I prefer The Devil's Backbone in certain ways to Pan's Labyrinth, but if someone was saying, what's the movie that you think kind of sums up this guy's career, I would say it's Pan's Labyrinth. There you go. Hi, Mikey's Madness says Cursed Art Creations. Everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. So that would be my take on it. And so when I'm like working on stuff, sometimes you just kind of go, oh, like I know we both have a heavy Lovecraft influence in our stuff, and I know that much, but this aspect of things is just a love of the fairy tale. and the love of having this kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Just this kind of balance of visual elements and visual flavors. So going back to why I love the idea of this whole thing, yeah, absolutely. Ran and Throne of Blood are my favorite Kurosawa movies. Those are my two favorite Kurosawa movies, Beowulf and Hail, brother. It is great to see you, Beowulf. So, yes, that is amazing. Yeah, that we have the same two favorite Kurosawa films. My favorite Kurosawa films are Ran and Throne of Blood. They're both Shakespeare adaptations. I've done paintings and artwork of Hidetora coming down the staircase of the burning castle. That entire sequence is incredible. It is Hail Beowulf, says Leighton Gay, channel member. It's great to see you guys here. And Leighton, thank you, man, for always being early and often here. Pinocchio by Del Toro is fantastic. Really enjoyed Pinocchio. Loved the visuals of that. But I have the Criterion edition Ran that has the documentary on the making of Ran with Kurosawa, and it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful to see the master at work. Because they filmed that sequence on the foot of Mount Fuji, and so he was, you could see him after every take. He himself, at whatever age he was, because he was older at that point, using a broom and a rake to smooth out the ground before they did the next take on the castle assault. It's a brilliant film. And again, Jeremy, great work on your artwork, by the way. I love seeing that stuff. You guys are doing some killer stuff. And guys, when you have artwork that you post and I get a chance to see it, I'm always really pleased to see it, but I want you to know I'm not surprised. I know we've got a lot of creativity. We've got a lot of passionate backers and supporters that make everything that we do here just so much more exciting. I mean, when you guys back Springball and when you guys back Nosfero, the amount of work and, you know, energy that goes into making these books, it takes a lot. And I think it's very affirming when I go and I make that channel members list and do the credits, which I remember to do at the start of the stream. I look at that, and when you guys, back books and send super chats, that stuff goes into new brushes, that stuff goes into sketch paper, but it's also even more so than that when you guys show up to watch the streams too. And I'm very aware that this is a pretty incredible time we're in. And in a lot of ways, when you guys back the books, not only are you funding the creation of the artwork, not only are you essentially getting an opportunity to, get your order in for this book to get it printed, but it's almost like all of the books that are made during the time when we're all doing this stuff are like a yearbook. They're like a snapshot of the time spent together and the time spent believing in the importance of art, believing in the importance of conversation is what we have here. And I know that for myself, I'm personally, before I was even crowdfunding a Comicscape book, when I was just crowdfunding my books independently, I was all the richer for having a place where I felt like there was a little bit of sane insanity happening. And that's what I appreciate. Let me see here. I ended up drawing that Malachi the Puritan samurai idea I gave you, and Frankenstein monster I gave Ethan that nobody will touch because it's too hard. Well, in both of those cases, I work on ideas sometimes, and I can't solve them. Do you guys want to see... because I said this was going to be behind the scenes. I was going to show you some behind the scenes. Do you guys want to see something that I haven't shown before that shows how I think about things? This is going to trip you out. It's for it's inspired by a Comicsgate project that you'll know soon. Give me some ones in the chat if you guys want to see it, and I'll make it happen. And make sure you hit the like if you haven't yet, and then I'll see what I could do here. Which one is a good question. Huh. I gotta figure out how this search feature works one day. And we'll go from there. Now, I'm not saying this works. I'm only saying it's how I think. Okay, we got some ones. Scoop! Yes, indeed. This is not for anything. This was just an experiment I was doing when I was doing research. Because people, you guys know this from me, right? You guys know this, that I have a fairly good memory. I can't always hold everything in my head at the same time, but I have a fairly good memory because of the way I experience things. It's, I like trains and watching HD train videos of steam engines. I think we all know where I'm going with that. So, I love history. I love historical research. Just about everything I can think of. I'm always interested. What's up, Timmy Mello? Happy Sunday, brother. Okay, I see some ones. So, I went in and started working on a piece. Then I went into AI, Grok AI, and said, I need you to take an image and I need you to de-age the image for me. And then I need to go and I need to restyle the fashion sense on this character and play around with it. And and then I need to historically research a coat that would look cool. See if you guys can guess what I'm talking about. I took a historical figure and I used AI to de-age the historical figure. Then I looked at the fashion sense of the character and I said, could I look into this particular century and find fashion that would work in both his original century and in the future? Because I want this historical figure who's traveling through time to both look like he could be in both places and it would make sense. And so, yeah, that's something I was working on. Afternoon, Darren. How are you doing? It's good to see you, my friend. Darren we have some. Our Darren Wagner's runneth over. It's great to see you. Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter. That's close. I did Abe Lincoln steampunk thing. That was one of my early submissions. I showed Mark Chiarello. Let me see if you guys. It's a Comicscape book. See if you can figure it out. I think someone's gonna get it. And Timmy Mello, I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, man. Winter is the worst time. We are made for the sun. I understand, Beowulf. I understand. I want winter back. It's too early for summer. See? Some of us love those seasons, but Beowulf isn't having it. Let me know if you guys can figure it out, and I'm going to show it to you in a sec. I'll show you, like, the sketch. Oh, yeah, but what would the comic be? I know you know, Jeremy Burtzart. What would the comic be? I know you know it. Let's see what we got here, guys. Let's see what we got here. What about Babe Lincoln, Jay? There you go. There you go. If I see the name, I can make it happen. If I see the name, I can make it happen. Who is the character? Ben Franklin traveling through. There we go. Silence, do good, Jeremy Burtz. So something that he never said, or at least he said online, but I had never heard him say when I was on a stream with him is, why is he called Silence Do Good, or like what was the thing? And of course, Ben Franklin, when he was younger, was hiding his identity and writing in, I think, to his brother's, was it, newspaper? I forget whose newspaper it was. And he was signing the letters. He was impersonating this person named Silence Do Good. And I started thinking about what would I use and how would I think about this book if I was to make a piece of artwork for it? What would I do with it? And this is where the sketch process took me. So here you guys go. If you want to know how weird sketches go for me and how I cast as wide a net as I possibly can, here you guys go. So he signed everything. He signed everything when he wrote those letters. Your humble servant, Silence Do Good. And I thought that would be a killer title for the book, like a subtitle, like The Amazing Spider-Man. Your humble servant, Silence Do Good. So I took this old picture of Ben Franklin, got some aged paper, tried to make this look like a book, found a font that I thought would work and be interesting for it, and I wanted to put together a portrait. And as you can see, I'm still kind of trying to figure it out, paint into it, doing all these things. But I de-aged Ben Franklin, adjusted his anatomy, of course, and his hairstyle and all of that kind of stuff. But I thought, what could I do? It's old-timey Shane. It is my brother. Shane's my boy. Never forget. Greetings to you, Christopher Schaefer. Sheriff, how are you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Oh, did I pronounce that right? I probably pronounced that terribly wrong. I think Franklin also had to hide his identity as a writer because he would have been considered a traitor to the English monarchy at the time, given his opinions. Probably very correct to you, Mello, and that shows why you're a gentleman and scholar and my artist brother. There you go. So I want to talk to you about something, and I haven't said this to Shane yet because I've been up to my freaking neck in crazy work and outside of work stuff and all this stuff. We've had a lot of stuff going on. It's been nuts, and I know everybody is like that, but my wife saw a thumbnail to, I think, a recent Shane stream. My brain is toast right now. And it was young Shane. And she goes, who is that in that picture? And I said, that's Shane. That's Shane from, I don't know how many years ago. And she goes, that is not Shane. I go, that is absolutely Shane. And she was trying to see him in there. She was like, I can kind of see him in there. I was just dying, man. So yes, Shane, if you've ever wondered, which I don't think you do, how noticeable the chain is, because I see you when I look at those pictures. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Shane, you know? She couldn't see it, and it just cracked me up. Shane Franklin, 100%, and Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 is here. Welcome, welcome. 1776, amen. And happy 250th to the United States of America. I'm glad I'm not the only one who sees it cursed. That's 100% Shane. And guys, that's what a young Benjamin Franklin looks like. That's the truth. He's a young Ben Franklin, except for Ben Franklin was probably Shane's age in all the pictures that you look at things. So Shane aged better. Who did it better? Older Shane Davis, for sure. Shane's hair isn't that dark, but the face. There you go. There's Springball Terminal Monstosity. Guys, go check it out. And good to see you. How are you doing, my friend? Oh my gosh, these are hard to read when they're all smashed together. Anthol. Kinsidious Foul. I hope I got Anthol. It's like Anthony. I get it. I'm like Anthol Kinsidious Foul. I hope I got that right. Apologies if I didn't. Mange Do Good. Well, he's going to be cast live action. Yeah, Davis better check his family history. You never know. If he's got a claim on a fortune or something like that, so CURIOS says, I don't see it. Yeah. It's like if Dale and Shane did the fusion dance in Dragon Ball. Oh, wow. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. You did good, bro. I did my best. Apologies for my attempts. So I was showing the layout pages and the layout process, or I should say the initial breakdown process for Springball. One of the things that you can see me doing on this panel here is it's going to be a one-panel, two-panel situation where you've got an upshot of Springball. Let me make some notes on this so you guys can see here. You've got an upshot of Springball here, and then it's going to fade into dark as it goes down, and then I'm going to do a down shot of Springball going down this spiral staircase to give it this, to give it the kind of the atmosphere of what the depth of this is. And I'm having to kind of space out the stairs a little bit more than I would like, but I just love that kind of trick. And as this sort of ritual is going on, and there's going to be some nice word bubbles is the plan here. Let me see if I can grab a color for it. There's going to be some nice little word bubbles of the ritual sort of chant happening going on down there, as well as Springball's thoughts on the matter that are going to come into space there. And then you're going to see more sort of bubbles saying, something is, sleeping, much like Mighty Thulu, but Dagon is sleeping, and this is to try to awaken him. Then, of course, if you know the cover of Springball, you know that we're going to have a, my frog creature, my frog monster, who Dr. Victor von Freud is going to be here, and he's the one who's conducting the ritual in his new transformed form. And let me show you guys what I mean here. Nope. Well, actually, let me put an ugly color in there because you never know where an ugly color can take you. For all you painters out there who are wondering about that, sometimes taking a complementary color and mixing it in and on a low opacity and then painting with it can really do some really great color theory stuff. So I'll take something like that and sort of lean into it a little bit, and it'll give me something I wouldn't have thought was possible. I'll take a little bit of the dark there and sort of play around with, and I'm just using a trackpad in my laptop, for those of you guys wondering if I'm using a tablet. And I'll start to rough things in, and I'll start to build out where I might go with the painting and try all the while to make just a sense of lighting and a sense of character, and maybe even get some reflections in there. Because I want to create an immaculate reality for you guys where you come into these stories, and when you're buying Nosfero and you're buying Springball, I want it to be just a beautifully handcrafted comics printed here in the States, created in the States, with you guys riding shotgun, with you guys here along for the ride and all the fun conversations we have. This is the birth of a story. This is the birth of a character and a rebirth of a character in some ways. And we're doing something really cool here. And this is the comic book and everything. This particular crowdfunded edition of the book, everything we do is sort of our memento to remember these times by. And then a beautiful freaking story. Like, I want you guys to love this character, and I want you guys to take this character to heart, and I want you guys to know this character was made for you guys and made for your entertainment. That you were there, that's everything to me, man. And that's how I feel about it, Nosfero or Springball, Sophie's choice. Don't answer that, bro. Yes, exactly. Springball Terminal Monstosity. Most modern art is a travesty, artistic. Yeah, exactly. Taste. Yeah, 100%. I'm the client of the OG Springball fan. That's right. Are you aware of any wheelchair superheroes other than Professor X? Oh my gosh. Wow. So much information that. Welcome. So that's a good question. Believe it or not, I did a comic book with a character in a wheelchair when I was 16. I created a character in a wheelchair for this comic book I did called Avant-Garde, because outside of Professor X, you had Oracle from the Batman universe. That was Barbara Gordon after the Killing Joke when she was paralyzed. I worked in a studio in Atlanta, and my mentor, Brian Stelfreeze, was so concerned with getting it accurate, getting the character of Oracle and Barbara Gordon accurate, that he actually, I think he rented or purchased a wheelchair, and actually would use the wheelchair and then photograph the wheelchair for reference so he could understand how Barbara Gordon would and would not move and how those things would work. But I'm going to try to think, probably somebody in the chat. See, Oracle, somebody got it. Kabuki Films got it really quick. A Serious Man is here. Welcome, the A Serious Man. It is great to see you. I hope you are well. Yeah, I agree with most modern art. You're 100% right. Let me see here. Barbara Gordon, Oracle. There you go. Barbara. Everybody's saying, yep. WizKid Exterminators. Absolutely right. Wasn't there one old lady in Spider-Man? That's true. But I'm just trying to think of... Well, there was... obviously it wasn't a superhero character, but there was not Mary Jane. Oh my gosh. Aunt May's boyfriend, Nathan, who was in a wheelchair in that book. But hero-wise, I know there have been more than a few. The question has been, what's the various caliber of them? Because I've always wanted to do a character that, and I also did a character who had tank treads for legs, because I love this movie called The Exterminators. I loved that one. Madam Web, there you go. Yeah, Madam Web, really? Look at you guys. You guys are all like grabbing it. Madam Web, boom. There you go. And there's a link to Springball Terminal Monstosity, guys. Thank you, guys. Please hit the like in YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube. And it does help. And I thank you guys for being here on this fine Sunday. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. So when it comes to the stuff I do, and it comes to the work I do, oh, that might be right. Wasn't there a troubleshooter from Spitfire that was paraplegic? Maybe. I don't remember. Wheels from Degrassi. There you go. Look at you guys. You guys are going into the deep dive here. Heavens to Betsy. So let me zoom in on this and I'll show you guys what I mean. And so here's another aspect of what I do that's fun for me. So I like to grab things like this and then create a new layer. Give myself some red there. And then play around with what will happen if I mess with the different layer versions there. Sometimes it doesn't yield anything. Sometimes it yields plenty. And it can just be as simple as, don't like that one. That one's kind of interesting, but it's not really doing it for me. And then when push comes to shove, go to image adjustments, hue saturation. Let me adjust that. It's very much like painting, guys. It's a big aspect of this is like painting. Kind of interesting. Now I'm going to go on a layer above. Grab this. And then grab a little bit of, let me see right here. That one kid from BK was in a wheelchair. Wasn't there a character? No, he was on crutches. Crip Daddy was my hero. There you go. The one kid from BK was in a wheelchair. I'm trying to think of. Okay, I'm totally blanking. You guys have got me. You guys have got me at loose ends here. There we go. So now I'm going to take a little bit of a highlight in there. And then I'm going to grab, let me see what this color is. It's a little too dark for my purposes, but I want to try to play around with it here. Let's grab, and I'm going to get a little bit of that in there. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to put those together and see what I've got. So when I'm doing this kind of stuff now, that to me, when I look at that, that's not going to work for a few reasons. And the reason why it's not going to work is because it's giving his eyes too clear of a focus. And in giving his eyes too clear of a focus, he doesn't look like he's in a trance. And he's supposed to be almost in a trance doing this ritual. And I don't want him to be, I don't want you to be thinking about what he's looking at, because he's not looking at anything in the physical world. He's kind of deep into a trance. So I'm going to have to knock all of that stuff way back. But it's an interesting ground for exploration. A really interesting ground for sort of putting this stuff together. Let me see here. Play around with that. Grab the red. So I want to have some nice sort of reflective abstract shapes before I go in and grab a really saturated reflected light. And now that reflective light might even be something with a blue quality to it. Like it's kind of reflecting into the red to get a nice reflection there. And I think that could be something interesting. Let me see. There was an 80s Ghostbusters cartoon. That's right. One of the gentlemen was in a wheelchair. Look at that. You guys are putting together. Burger King had a wheelchair hero. It did? You got to be kidding me. And now I want Burger King. Yep, says Soul Curialt. The chief from Doom Patrol. Wow. Dang, man. You guys are like encyclopedic. Seeing things not meant for mortal eyes. You got it, man. That's right. Oh, he was part of the Burger King Kids. That's right. That's right. Thanks, and hail everybody. And hail to you, Christopher. And a pleasure. It's so great to have you here. It's a real pleasure getting to meet you because, as you know, the original Springball fan keeps it real, and I love that, man. And it's so. Let me talk a little bit about the thing I was saying before. It's one of the many tangents that sometimes I drop or forget during a stream. So here was the idea for me. I didn't want to put a character in the situation where it was kind of an Evil Dead-esque horror environment who was naturally a product of that. I wanted him to be very much a fish out of water, just like us, almost like Dorothy in Oz, or any character who gets brought into a bigger environment. Even Luke Skywalker in Star Wars was a fish out of water once he leaves the farm and goes off into the adventure of the story. In this case, Springball is kind of forced into this adventure because he doesn't know all this stuff is happening, and he gets kind of realizes that there's darker evil happening in this ancient New England city of Kingsport. And so as he uncovers it, he's having to absorb new information at the same time as he's trying to rescue somebody. So what started out as a normal rescue mission to fight everyday crime, revealed that underneath all of that stuff, there's a bigger evil that's lurking. That's the crime we think of, the street level pedestrian crime, is actually almost like the ripples on the surface of something happening that's darker and deeper in the world of Kingsport. And that is what Springball is ultimately forced to face, and he's ultimately forced to deal with. And so the moment at the end of the book, or the aspect of the at the end of the book, is both you and Springball realizing how serious of an issue this is. And it changes things. It changes what we think of. This stuff has happened in odd stories. I'm sure in every superhero comic book where you've had something that was really crazy happen from outside. In Springball, that's the norm. So it's a superhero story, but wherein you have mystical and magical cults. Springball isn't of that world. He's a product of science. He's a product of a scientific experiment, but he's very much of the man-made world. This stuff, he's as big of a fish out of water as an android would be in the shadow over Innsmouth, or an android would be, what would be a really good one to use? It's like watching an android in Pan's Labyrinth would be a great way of putting it. So he's not of that world. Yeah, you don't have to abbreviate if you aren't paying by the letter. That's right. That's right. That's right. Exactly. Let's see here. Wasn't there an Iron Man story where he was in a wheelchair? I think there was. Yep. And everybody's saying hello, hello. There was a 90s Ghostbuster cartoon character. Oh boy, I'm way behind. Yep. Old Zippy Lad from TMNT. Great wheelchair. Oh man. I loved classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. Loved that stuff. 100%. 100%. That's some BS. Yeah, there you go. Things are happening. Kind of like the allegory of the cave. Yes. Yeah, the cave. Well, that's a big one too, right? So you see characters going into this sort of dark world. And it was something that that I think that probably Todd was I know he was doing with Torment, that a lot of people regardless of the execution, the idea of making there be this kind of cult sort of ritual that was affecting Spider-Man and making his spider sense go nuts and all that stuff was a very strange idea, because we don't think about the superpowers being affected by some kind of dark ancient magic, whereas in this case Springball isn't even a human being. He's his own kind of thing, and he's seeing something that he's not like he's an android. He's not like Data going does not compute. He's got a very different he's got a personality. He's a much more personal person. But if he hasn't seen something before, and nothing has seen something before, like all of us, he has the same process of Ash when they read the Necronomicon, or they play the Necronomicon being read, and all of a sudden they sense this evil presence, and Ash is like, I'm just going out with some friends to a cabin. What is happening? And that's what's happening. It's this story in this world is going to be so fun. Oh gosh, I'm going to introduce some really cool stuff in issue 2. And at the end of issue 1, you're going to get a glimpse of, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff I want to spoil, and I'm not going to. Homunculus. Actually, yeah, that is kind of a good comparison. Although a homunculus, yeah, it is. It actually works, because it's weird. I'm doing not a homunculus, but I'm doing a, yes. All right, if Timmy Mello says, then it's gospel between the two of you. The unnatural makes its own rules. Thank you, and well said, Comic Books and Coots. People are like, why? What's the best part of Comicsgate? I'm like, some of the best conversations and hangouts you're ever going to have, man. It's a blast. And some of the coolest comics. There's so many things going on that I've been missing out of, because I haven't been on any streams outside of this stream, and because I'm trying to do a regular stream, and Hard Art, which I couldn't even do because of the dental work I had to get done this past week, which thank God that's over. That was not a fun experience. But I'm like keep trying to get up the energy to do things. But I had a late night call, which was a cool call. My son just wanted to talk and say hey at 2 a.m. I was about to go to bed, and I was like, I got to talk to my guy, man. I got to see how he's doing and make sure he's okay. And so yeah, it's been a lot of that kind of thing, and then just trying to keep our head above water in terms of staying on top of the house and getting taxes and all that stuff. You guys know. You guys know. Mold me, I'm your sculpture, merely clay in your hands. Amen. And guys, love this stuff. When I was talking about Nosfero, Death Will Die, which is one of my upcoming projects I'm really excited about. But it's after Springball, so I work on it as a break from working on Springball. One of the characters in it is inspired by the Golem. So going quickly from digital to traditional, which is, I'm sure, a little bit of whiplash, this is my take on a Golem character in the world of Nosfero the Cryptwalker. So this piece is actually going to be in the back of the oxidized edition, I think, of Nosfero the Cryptwalker. So I'm going to be seeing the first time this piece is getting printed is as a print, as a bonus print, and as a bonus feature in the back of the oxidized edition, which is basically a sneak peek at all of the development work for Nosfero Death Will Die. And so, yeah, you're going to get a really good sense of this guy. But I like working with both the human and I always say that I'm creating characters in Springball and in that character right there that I'm making characters that are made, not begotten by humans. So just as they say that Jesus, of course, or we say that Jesus is begotten by God and not made, Springball is made, not begotten by mankind, and the Golem character in Nosfero Death Will Die is made, not begotten. And that's the term I want to start using for those characters, because they're a product of humanity, and in a lot of ways they're a reflection of some of our ideals and some of the things we strive to, but they lack some of the most beautiful qualities of being a human being, which is how we experience time, how things are finite, and then also this deeper connection we have to the mystery, which is what I love about this. That's what I wanted. Anne Frankenstein's monster to be a golem. I have that. I love that movie. I have it over there on Blu-ray. It's a great, or maybe it's on Blu-ray and 4K. So great. She finds Hitler and resurrects him since he was supposed to be part Jewish. Then Anne Frankenstein goes after her family's killers. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So he's a made man. The serious man comes in with the one-liner, comes through in the clutch. I love it, man. I love it. I wondered where my, where I even put my, actually you can kind of see it there, but for those of you guys who don't know why we call this Comics and Curios Inside the Studio, just realized that stopped playing. Let's go, man. Oh, it's off. Dadgummit. Hopefully it's going to do something now. So for those of you guys who wonder why I call it Comics and Curios Inside the Studio, this is a Sunday where I'm bringing you into my studio. Sometimes we talk about books. Sometimes you bring up subjects that make me grab a book or grab a comic book. And then I set it up over on my my book reading table, which right now has got Nosfero sketches on it. And sort of Nosfero development sketches on it. And we talk about that stuff, but I wanted to give you guys that experience that I think is really fun, where you go into an artist studio and you get to see the craziness of being in there. It's fly on the wall of both the creative process, but also the creative environment. So allow me to show you more of... Uh-oh, did I unplug that? Dang it. That's what I get. That's what I get. Hang on. Let's see if this works. There we go. Is this working now? Is this working? I don't think I unplugged it. That would be really annoying. Oh, don't worry about it. It's the phone. It's the phone camera. I'm stunned. I know you're stunned. I know you're stunned. Hang on a second here. Let me switch here. Then we'll switch back and see if that gets it working. Yeah, I do prefer Karloff's 1931 Frankenstein. Oh, did I unplug it from here? No, right? Let's see if that works. And no. Why is that not working? Pause. Huh. That's weird. Hang on, let me switch screen text. Game over. How dare you? You're probably right. Let's switch here and see if that does anything interesting with it. Nope. Huh. Wonder what that's about. Let me see here. Oh, wait. No, there it is. Hey, look at that. Listen, all y'all. It's a sabotage. Let me move that over. So if you look over here at this neck of the woods, let's see if this works. You can see, hopefully... See if I can move this ever so delicately. There you go. You can see, of course, the great Peter Cushing. You can see Boris Karloff. But in the background, right by those brushes, I don't know if you can see it, there's the fawn from Pan's Labyrinth. And there is, oh gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking on her name. What is the name of the mother who gets locked in the basement in Evil Dead 2 and returns in Ash versus the Evil Dead? You can see her snake-like sort of neck and creepy ghoul face there. And of course, the great Frankenstein. Yeah, I know, that is the first time. I totally unplugged it. That's what happened. Yeah, I've had some moments. Aaron Lepresti gets ticked at me when I say Abbott Costello Meet Frankenstein is a great movie, and Graham Nolan and I are right. Period. We're totally right about that. So many, oh gosh, guys, those are all brushes that have met their end, more or less. That's the amount of brushes I go through. So when people say, Ted Raimi, yes, indeed, man. Ted Raimi in the infamous leg chair. My ex, says Wolves and Bear. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're doing well. Henrietta from Beowulf comes through. Hail, Beowulf. You got it. Henrietta. When I did that video for Ethan with Cecil, and I had them in Evil Dead 2, I don't know if you guys remember it, was Cecil going, hush, little baby, don't say a word. I made that video for Ethan, if you guys are OG and you remember that. And, yeah, it was Henrietta in the basement I had Cecil as in that, which was really funny. But, yeah, Lou Costello's daughter, Chris, is one of my Facebook friends. She's a treasure, too. I love hearing her talk about her dad. And, He's so great. So my kids grew up on Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein and the Wolfman, and my daughter, when she was little, just adored Wilbur on that, and she Lou Costello's character, and she was so worried for him when he was trapped, and he was like, Sandra, he absolutely was like, is he gonna be okay? She was so sweet. She was so worried about him, and then there's this part where he does this kind of sound that he would do, which was like whooping, and she goes, is he saying he's peeing? And I'm like, no, he's okay. He's gonna be fine, man. He's gonna be fine. But I watched that movie every Halloween and many times outside of it. I grew up on Abbott and Costello, Jack and the Beanstalk. Yeah, 100%. I love that movie. It's such a good movie, guys. Abbott and Costello. Okay. You guys have got it. You guys have got it. Not to that level of comedy. Well, yeah, not to that level of comedy and with a little bit more horror. Abbott and Costello and Lou Costello meeting Frankenstein and the Wolfman is 100% what I think about with Springball being in this crazy world that he's in. That's what it is. It's when you see them in that environment and they're trying to absorb what's happening and people believing them and not believing them and did I see it or did I not see it? There's this whole other world that they uncover. And of course, everything works out great in the end, and that's what I love. Did you paint that Harryhausen set? No, I did not. I wish I did. So that's the original poster of my favorite Ray Harryhausen movie. Okay, I'm gonna have to move this more. Which is, and I did a custom job on the artwork, but it's the artwork. I didn't change that much of it. Which is The Golden Voyage of Sinbad, starring, oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? And I can't even see it on there. Not Kerwin Matthews. Who was the actor who played Sinbad? I can't believe I'm blanking on this. Carolyn Monroe. Not Kerwin Matthews. Was it John? No. Does anyone know who was the actor who played Sinbad? John Philip Law. Thank you. Yes, John Philip Law. Such a great great actor. He did incredible work in that. And you know what? We're gonna start walking because it's Comics and Curios inside the studio. I gotta grab stuff to show you. That's how it works. All right, I'll be right back. John Philip Law. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Love it. Love it. So, this is one of my favorite pieces that I have in the studio. This right here is an X Plus of the Cyclops Centaur, which is my favorite Ray Harryhausen monster. I love all the Ray Harryhausen monsters, let me be clear. But this is 100% one of my favorite sculptures. I love the really consistent way he did the scales. There's something charming about it. And it is just such a cool character. It's such a cool... I mean, like, look at that thing. And what's really cool about it is the headpiece, the top of the hair comes off on it, and you can move the eye around. I don't know if I can, but I'll have to see if I can loosen it up later. But yeah, you can move the eye around with that. I haven't done it yet, so I probably should heat it up first. But I think it's also got a magnet drilled into it so that hair stays on, right? But look at that, how cool that is. Now, this is the other thing. So the other thing I got this week, because I try to, guys, the reason why I say getting books and getting, like, I have my Comicsgate books over there that I've backed, all of that stuff is surround yourself with art, surround yourself with people who are curious and interested in really cool things. Guys, that's what's great about having you guys here. Because you guys are curious and interested in things and just as passionate as I am. When I see artwork that inspires me, and I know I've shown a bunch of different things on this stuff, but when I see artwork that inspires me, and I remember the things you guys tell me that you're interested in, it's as best as I can, but it's like I went on a deep dive on wood carving because we were talking about that. And I went on a deep dive about a bunch of different things. But one of the things I got was I'm a huge fan of Mike Hill. Mike Hill is one of my favorite artists. He just won an Academy Award. And while I'm not... Academy Awards are Academy Awards. They're their own thing. But I think for someone who grew up on film and creatures like Mike Hill did, for him to win an award as a true monster kid who's done some of the most incredible sculptures. I'm not even talking about special effects work. Mike Hill is just an amazing, amazing guy. And let me grab this because I was so excited about this. Let's see here. So Mike Hill's design for Frankenstein's monster. This company made a sort of a static... it's getting too blown out by the light. Hang on, I got to turn the light down. There we go. Mike Hill's sculpture for this Frankenstein, which is based on those anatomical models and things like that, is probably one of the first times we've gotten a really new approach to it. But one of the things that he said he was inspired by... Yes, that's right, Layton. I post this on X. Peter Gilmore cracked me up, man. Oh, you were just reminding me of that. But the thing about it that was so cool is that when he was talking about his process of making it and doing the sculpture work on it, he talked about how he wanted to have... He was looking at those locks where you put the key into them and then they have the little sliding metal piece that goes over it. And he goes, and I wanted that part right there, the access point to his heart, to be like that. So where the legendary Jack Pierce, if I can reach it, the all-time great, the GOAT, Jack Pierce, really focused on the access to the brain because that was a huge part of the narrative, was the brain. And I'm like, this is the all-time great for me. I mean, Jack Pierce, man. Greek Americans, stand up. Jack Pierce was a Greek immigrant American, to be clear, who came to the States and gave us so many monsters, So many iconic designs, so many creatures. Yes, he is the greatest of all time. Jack Pierce is the greatest makeup artist and special effects makeup artist of all time. I think that you'd have to go... Ooh, it's tough. Only because of him doing more work and having a longer career. I think... Oh, man. It's tough because Dick Smith had so many children. He was a great makeup artist, but he also had so many kids, like Rick Baker, that he created. But I think that Rick Baker and Dick Smith are there, like locked in for number 2 for me. Rob Bottin, there's a huge gap after him. Rob Bottin, see, it's tough, right? Because it could be Dick Smith, Rick Baker, and Rob Bottin. I could have all 3 of those equal on there. They're that good. Like, they're all that good. Okay, we'll put Dick Smith number 2, Rob Bottin and Rick Baker tied for 3rd, I think I'll say. That's all. And then after that, you're going to get people like Stan Winston. You're going to get folks like that, Legacy Effects. Yeah, absolutely. I think Jack did the makeup for Lon Chaney Jr. and the Wolfman too. Yes, he did. He created that makeup, and he created the Widow's Peak for, what's it called? Werewolf of London. And Werewolf of London was the influence for Wolverine and the look of Wolverine. And so, yeah, there's this history of cinema informing art, art informing cinema, then global cinema and global art informing one another. And all of that stuff, guys, all of that stuff is what goes into the stuff I do, whether it's... I cannot wait to show you guys the proofs of Nosfero Art Edition. They said they're going to ship them to me as soon as they get them printed and ready. I've already approved the digital proofs, but I wanted to pay a little extra so that you're going to see like closer to what the book's print quality will be. I'll be sharing that on stream. I hope to do it next Sunday. I hope to share that on stream next Sunday. But this is the first printing of Nosfero, which I know some of you guys backed that tier as well. But whenever I'm doing the stuff I do, there's my wife's amazing introduction right there, and a painting that's inspired by her. There's Nosfero with Eric Weathers' amazing lettering and all of the work that he did. Much love to Eric. I haven't talked to him in forever. I haven't talked to anybody in a while. I feel like this is the most... For the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to help a buddy of mine, or not trying to. I've been helping a buddy of mine going through a tough time, and a lot of other stuff going on, and I've been just trying to keep my head above water and keep everything going. But look at this, man. Yes, absolutely. Glass Machine. I know what? I really do appreciate that. Hail Shanth, I can't stay. Just wanted to say I hope everyone has a fantastic week. Glass Machine, I hope you have a fantastic week. And I appreciate that very much, more than you know. And I will pass that along to everybody. And Hail Glass Machine, says Leighton. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, Stan Winston, 3 greatest creations. Live action is RoboCop, Terminator, then Iron Man. Actually, Rob Bottin did RoboCop, I think. I could be wrong, but somebody check me on that, Rachel. But you're right. I mean, the Terminator, the Predator, for heaven's sake, amazing. Amazing stuff. You know? Although Geiger did the Alien, sort of the Alien design, I think it was Stan Winston's studio that made the Alien. Am I wrong, or is that correct? I'm not sure. Yeah, Waking Life is also a dream. Hey, man, what's up, Spaceman? How are you doing? Hail, Sean. How have you been? Been watching you on Kings. I'll watch this from beginning later. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, man, Spaceman, it's been crazy. I miss seeing my brothers on Kings. I'm looking forward to doing hard art this week. That dental stuff, getting my those molars fixed on the upper and lower on the left side, just took the wind out of my sails. But you guys are putting the wind back in my sails, thank God. Shath, how many filing cabinets do you have? It's kind of more piles, Rachel. I'm not proud to say. The only dreams that startle me is when I'm walking on a flat surface and the world disappears. I fall. I've never had the I can't fight dream. That would trip me out. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's an interesting one. I'm on a flat surface and the world disappears. That's great. The wonderful Mrs. Angetti is doing great. Thank you for asking. She's in the next room. I know she'll appreciate that. Hail, Spaceman. Everybody's saying hello. Jeremy Burtz. And again, outstanding art this week. If you're not following Jeremy Burtz on X, and a lot of our artists here, Make sure that you do, because he posted some really cool stuff this week. A lot of you guys are just doing killer stuff. I know Stephen Rockwood's got an art channel, but yeah, lots of really cool just sculpture and things going on that I try to keep myself dialed in for when I'm doing my work. Yes, it is. It definitely is. My dentist is great, though, because he knows that I don't numb easy, so he has to put a lot of shots in. Sorry to traumatize any of you guys. Yeah, Jeremy has amazing art. Well said, Cursed Heart. And by the way, speaking of amazing art, there is Cursed Heart's crochet Thulu right there. For any of you guys who missed it, and I know you guys know she's an outstanding crochet artist, but take a look at the detailing on the back. Take a look at this beautiful work right here. Just awesome. Love that. Love this thing. And the eyes are such a fantastic choice. Really great stuff. Guys, our cup runneth over with creativity and inspiration. I mean, that's why I think that for me, when I'm doing my books, and I always have my thank you on the credits page for the backers, and like whatever the number of backers are, I try to say thank you, get that number correct. For me, like I said, it's kind of like it's our one of our mementos for this time. It's reminds us not only does it tell the story that I write inside of it and the artwork I write, but it reminds us of the stories we told and the conversations we had while the stuff was being made, whether it's Springball or Nosfero the Cryptwalker. Springball is still an active campaign. The link for Springball's in the description if you want to make sure that you don't miss out on that. But as the stuff comes together, and time is such a precious thing, and I know that sounds like an utter cliche statement, but I was thinking about just where I was 10 years ago, where I was 10 years before that, where I was all of these different times, but not from a standpoint of things, bad things, not like that at all. I was thinking about things I didn't know that I learned, that I can't imagine my life without having learned them. People I've met that I can't imagine my life having not met those people previously. And that's the thing that is exciting to me and is amazing about firing up a stream, making the thumbnail, frantically putting this stuff together. Amen to that. Indeed. I will tell you what, though, it was funny. I was talking to someone last night, and I thought to myself, I was thinking about how many people are so much more dialed into the latter than the former of that. And I've been having to remind people of that, friends lately who are having a tough time forgiving themselves. It's one of those things that I think comics allow us to consider. I mean, gosh, look at Peter Parker and Spider-Man. The whole story is about, can you forgive yourself? Like, at what point does that become a problem? Curse Art Creation says, you'd blow Ethan's mind with a rainbow. At Curse Art. Yes. Oh, that's right. That would be so cool to see a Rainbow the Brute. That would be amazing. Yeah. Thanks, Mikey. That's a great idea. I have to make a Rex for Shane. Yeah, I love Shane's stuff, and I love Ethan's stuff too, man. He's doing some killer work. Whenever he shows in progress work of what he's been doing a lot of draw streams. That stuff is so killer, guys. Really cool. I didn't know Ethan's stuff before Comicsgate. Like, I didn't know his stuff. My friend did. I have a friend who's a massive DC Comics fan. I was more of a Marvel guy. And I know I had seen his name in Wizard magazine, so it's not like I want to say I didn't know he existed. I never had deep dove into his work. I even remember seeing a CyberFrog ad from, I think, Harris Comics in Wizard or Previews or somewhere. So I know I knew CyberFrog. I knew all that stuff. But seeing Ethan's Brian Bolland influence and the evolution of his stuff really has served the kind of cosmic aspect of CyberFrog in such an incredible way. So my first Ethan Van Sciver comic I ever bought was, I didn't know his X-Men stuff. I had dipped out of X-Men at that point, Beowulf, which is crazy to think about. Sorry for the whiplash, guys. But this is the glimpse of the studio. Headphone charger, pens and pencils and brushes, the water, all of the stuff I use, comics, sketchbooks, patches, always important to have that stuff kicking around. I'm just looking around at all of the stuff I have laying around here. And of course, big influences are the art books. Aaron Lopresti has done a couple of draw streams. That's right, for Barbaric Adventures. They're great fun to watch. I think I saw him doing a late night stream where he was doing that. Yeah, Ethan co-created one of my favorite X-Men characters, Dust. Yeah, he's a creative force. I mean, between that and the Green Lantern stuff, it's insane. So let's take a look at a book I want to show you guys of an artist you might not know, who's from the golden age of illustration, but I think it'd be a really cool thing to show you guys. And it's an artist by the name of Mead Schaefer. And Mead Schaefer did large-scale oil paintings as an illustrator. And so these are from 1928. But look at his Abe Lincoln. Look at the stuff. This is the stuff that really influences me and really speaks to me, man. And the love of craft, the love of grace and beauty and all of this stuff that goes on. What's up, Headless Bourgeoisie? How are you doing? I was buying Impulse when Ethan took over the art. That was the first I saw of his work. It held its own against Waringo. Rest in peace, Ringo. I believe he's passed away, if I'm not mistaken. And Craig Rousseau's. Yeah, very cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, Ethan's stuff has been killer, man. So there were people I had to go back and learn about because I wasn't reading a lot of DC comics. Look at this stuff, guys. I mean, man, look at this. Look at the detail on that. But there was a lot of stuff I had to go back and check out. I had never really done any deep dive into DC, so I actually learned about Kevin Maguire's amazing work after the fact. Oh, God. Sorry, hang on a second. We're going to pause on Mead Schaefer. I think I'm going to hit Mead Schaefer next week because there was something I wanted to make sure I talked about this week. Something I want to make sure I talked about. I don't have my books with me. They're in the basement, the thin trade paperbacks. But I want to take a second. Gotta run, brother. All right, take care, Mark. Have a great rest of the day, brother. Have a great rest of the day. So let me take a moment here real quick to talk about the passing of Sam Keith. And I saw that last night. I was going to put up a post about it, but I'm still trying to gather my thoughts about this. Sam Keith is one of those artists whose work just blew my mind when I first saw it. So I first saw Sam Keith's work and got into Sam Keith's work on the covers he was doing for Marvel Comics Presents. And I know, speaking of books to back, and feel free to put the link in the chat, guys, Reaper Destroyer 2 has got a cover by John Malin. And John Malin, it's like weird how this stuff works, but John Malin was referencing the Sam Keith ripped cloth when he was doing that cover. But Sam Keith, what he did with his comic book, The Max, Hail and Indeed Comic Books in Cahoots, what he did with his comic book, The Max, and his use of traditional and digital at the same time, I remember thinking to myself, one day, and I didn't know Photoshop, this was before any of that stuff, when a lot of that stuff probably had to be photographed or was being done in Photoshop, but I don't even know how they pulled half of that stuff up. And thank you, Bearwolf. I appreciate that. There is Joe's book, Reaper Destroyer 2. Make sure you sign up. It's got a fantastic John Malin cover. Reaper Destroyer Second Chance. There you go, guys. So this was the thing for me. Is not only was the production quality on his books beautiful, and then when Max debuted in darker image, I was like, my mind was blown. But he kind of, the idea of like floating whales in this mythological outback, the elements of Frazetta, which I hadn't even really understood Frazetta at that point, because I never looked at Frazetta's work when I was growing up because I couldn't paint. I had no idea that Frazetta was going to become a huge influence for me later. I was looking at all of this other stuff, but people like Sam Keith were true artists, and they were true creatives who wrote comics and artwork that you couldn't imagine anyone else doing. You couldn't imagine anyone else but Sam Keith coming up with the Max the Rabbit character and the whole, I forget what his name was, was it Brer Lapin or something? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. And you know, the story of this character coming in and out of different types of reality, Um, just the way that he drew women, the way that he cross-hatched, everything wasn't always equal. He was very painterly with his ink work, a la Frazetta, and he was very bold in his cartooning, whether he was doing cartooning with paint or with anything else. So, yeah, it's so great. Yeah, some of Sam Keith's early work was inking over Matt Wagner on issues of Mage. Isn't that awesome? And I have a Matt Wagner book over there, the Dracula book he did with Kelly Jones. Yeah, I mean, he's just, he's a special guy, man. He's a special artist. This is how I feel. Yeah, I know. This is how I feel about Dale. I'm sure Dale is, this is how I feel about Dale. Collected Pitt almost 4 times. Every time I see Pitt comics in the wild, I grab it. I'm the same way. His first Kamiko story was called Max the Hare. Yes. And that, of course, is where Rocketeer, I think issue 2 came out, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it issue 1 or issue 2 that came out there? Really great stuff. I found Frazetta through posters. Yep, that was like me. And Spencer's Gifts and Molly Hatchet album covers. Awesome. Yeah, I found Frazetta, believe it or not, the first time I saw Frazetta and went, what is that? That's like, I was like, oh, that's Frazetta? That's cool. You guys aren't going to believe this. It's nuts. Was the She cover he did for Billy Tucci, which I bought. I think I bought it from Billy Tucci's booth, maybe at San Diego or somewhere. Maybe I'm getting my memories confused, but I'm pretty sure that's where I got it. I think I actually bought it from the Crusade Comics booth, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Frazetta's Kiss cover is great. Yeah, I love Keith's Alien stuff too. Yeah. And I remember seeing his Marvel Comics Present stuff, and I love the way he did the hair on Wolverine's arms. I love the way he did the crazy big sort of, the headpiece on Wolverine. I always forget what to call it, because they're not really horns. They're not really, I mean, I don't know what you call them, like wings, but I love the way he did that, because Todd would do that too with Wolverine, but Sam Keith just always gave him this great character. I love the way he did trees and the bark detail on trees, man. Sam Keith, because I love trees. I love bristlecone pine. I love the sort of gnarled twist and turn of that stuff. And I love the fact that he wasn't afraid to go really cartoony with the design of the Max and then render the crap out of stuff. Antlers, that's a good way of putting it, yeah. Cowl, yes, that's right. The ear, people call them the earpieces too, but the earpieces on the cowl. The hot dog cars and Marvel Comics Presents. Yes, absolutely right, man. I like the Kelly Jones Dracula interiors, but I preferred the Wagner covers. Very interesting. Very cool. Yeah, I remember Mage big time. That came out. That was another great sort of time in independent comics. Lady Gay was that. The Destroyer, the mix of exaggeration and detail was awesome. Yeah, absolutely, guys. And so, yeah, when I'm working on something for Springball, my attitude has always been to try to take that stuff and really bring that kind of that cartooning and that more realistic approach to it. That was an aspect of let me see if I can find it here. Hang on a second. File find. I know I'm going to show you guys that book hopefully next week that I was showing you before, but I have to take some time to talk about Sam Keith and his influence on me, because I had very eclectic taste when I was looking at art. There was stuff I loved and stuff that hit me and stuff that didn't. Stuff that left me cold and stuff that hit me like a ton of bricks. Sam Keith stuff hit me like a ton of bricks. Dave Stevens stuff hit me like a ton of bricks. Simon Bisley stuff hit me like a ton of bricks. Todd McFarlane stuff hit me like a ton of bricks. John J. Muth stuff hit me like a ton of bricks. Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird stuff hit me like a ton of bricks. Tim Vigil's Grips did. All of that stuff was so informative in what I was doing. And here's where you can see, because I want to show you guys Sam Keith's influence on Springball and how I think about Springball. Let's see if this works. And it's not the best example in terms of, because it's not totally finished yet, but I want to make sure I share this with you guys, because it's cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Where the heck is it? Okay, let's do this. Sam Keith stuff is really cool stuff. Let me be very, very clear. Here you go. So this is a page from Springball, and this is an example of what that Sam Keith did that's a legacy for me in terms of his legacy in forming Springball. So when I saw the painterly and drawing aspect in Sam Keith's stuff, as a kid, like I saw it I started dreaming about what I might one day be able to do. And I didn't know how to paint at that point, didn't know how to do any of that stuff. I still hadn't learned any of that stuff. And it was Sam Keith's stuff and his mixture of line and detail and painting that inspired me to start playing around with things like what you're seeing here, where things suddenly get more painterly when you're inside of this test tube reflection. Stuff like that I started really doing when it came to working on this comic book stuff that I'm doing right now. And so another example of that, if I can make that happen, is on Springball, is it cover B? The final of that is even more of what Sam Keith brought to the table for me. So when I was working on this is another example of your dreams came true, pal. 100% they do. They 100%. Thank you guys for helping those things to happen. Let me see. Dale Keown, Joe Mad, Alex Ross, Clayton Barton. Very nice. Barry Windsor. Oh, Barry Windsor Smith. I tip my cap to Barry Windsor Smith and to you, Beowulf. Let me see here. Jim Lee, Ian Churchill, some of my favorite artists, 100%. All great picks. I like John Byrne. Yeah, John Byrne stuff is sick. George Perez, of course, legend. Barry Windsor Smith, you guys know. So this is the part where I start playing around with both the line work and also the more painterly aspect. This is all here because of Sam Keith. This is all here because of the Sam Keith influence and the idea of people like Ren and Stimpy background artists, where animation would blend these detailed paintings in certain frames with minimal line, or with minimal animation, but really detailed stuff. Max Fleischer did that in the Superman cartoons. There's even some of that stuff in Disney. But you see where I'm pushing the line between line work and line work turning into color, and that turning into digital painting, particularly on this on the teeth here. What is up, Bootlegger Entertainment? How are you doing? Hey, what's up? Nothing much. Just talking about the great Sam Keith. Neil Adams, X-Men, phenomenal. 100%. Bisley Blanche, 100%. Barry Windsor Smith is the best Wolverine artist, in my opinion. I was looking at his Weapon X stuff, and there's two images in particular that will be seared into my memory for all time of Barry Windsor Smith stuff. One of them is the Wolverine in the snow with the helmet on in Weapon X, and it's a vertical panel. And the other one, of course, is him sitting back in the chair. But boy, did he brought that sort of, unsurprisingly, he brought that barbarian-like rawness to Wolverine. And Wolverine just looked like a Viking warrior when he drew him, man. Yeah, Neil Adams, man, what a brilliant draftsperson. Incredible. That looks lifted straight out of the Max. Let me tell you something. The Max, God bless you for saying that, man. The Max is it's such a beautiful thing, man. It's such a beautiful book, and I know I can't imagine what those stages of that particular form of dementia that Sam Keith was suffering from. I know it's a really horrific condition and experience. I'm glad he's at peace, but I cannot tell you how grateful I am, and I'm also praying that his family has peace. And I'm sure it's really, really hard because I know. I mean, loss is such a grief is such a in many ways it's such a terrifying thing. But the thing for me is that the artist editions that have been made of his work, the reproductions or the new printings of his work, which I hope continue even more so in the wake of his loss. He has left such an incredible legacy, and his legacy is preserved in the memories of so many of us who were touched by his work, who impacted our understanding of art and artistry and influenced our own artwork in some cases. And I'm so grateful to him. I'm so grateful for his work and for his for the genius that he shared with us through the stuff that he made. And I mean, one of the action figures I always wanted and I could never get my hands on was the Outback Max figure that McFarlane Toys did way back in the day, where he had the feathered headpiece. That was my favorite Max character, and I'll let you guys in on a little
I'll give you guys a little sneak peek of some of the many things I did. And it's just, yeah, David Finch as well, 100%. Timmy Mello, yeah. Rest in peace, Ed McGuinness also deserves some love, yeah, 100%. So I was working on a little interstitial for the comic book section of Hard Art for John, and this I created the interstitial on the 21st. No, not the 21st. What was it? The 15th. Sorry, getting my numbers wrong. I think I did it on the 15th, or maybe it was the 11th even, was it? I'll have to look back at the file. Actually, let me look at the file now so I can get the date right. And I only found out about Sam Keith, which I know he passed away sooner than that, but I just found out about this yesterday. But I was looking at, let me see here. Oh, you guys don't need to see all my files? What the hell? Why isn't it sharing the thing I wanted to share? It's too many things. Your brains are going to break. And let me see here. Why did it switch to entire screen? Photoshop. That makes it easier. Hopefully you could see the Photoshop file all right when I was sharing it. Jack Kirby at War. There's the proof. That. Jostens, Braveheart, Steven Saves Wallace. God, my files are a mess. Ugh. Where is it? Man, I've got so many things. It's a miracle my computer's even working. Section. Movies. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Hard Art on Comics. March 11th. So on March 11th, I was putting together... Oh, and rest in peace, Chuck Norris, too. Exactly. Indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's been one of those. March 11th, I created all of these great comics. What's up, Chris Bouchard? How are you doing, brother? It's great to see you. I created all of these little comic clips, like they're 2-second clips, flashes of comics. And one of the ones I did, let me see if I can share this with you guys. Gosh, I hope things don't completely crash. I don't want to play it because it's John's to play, so I'm not going to play it. But this is only because, in honor of Sam Keith, I want to make sure I show you guys at least one still from it. I tried to make nods to the comic book artwork that we all love in this, and had some really cool quotes in it. But one of the ones, and it goes by so fast, it's going to be tough to find. But one of the ones was Sam Keith's incredible work, Mark Teixeira, his incredible stuff. Where is it? Shoot, God, it goes by fast. So there's Teixeira. Or Teixeira. I apologize if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Oh, there it is. And this right here, can I find my way back to Ecamm? This right here was one of the images of the still in the video. And I had to make sure I put this in there because that's an artist on 11. That's an artist going full tilt into their craft. And just like, it's like he painted that with his fists, man. You know? I mean, it's so raw. It's so playful. It's so cartoony. It's everything that comics can be. And I feel such a responsibility when I'm making my artwork for Springball, for Nosfero, to all the artists who have come before me, who've done it better, who have done it incredibly, and to sort of rise to the gauntlet that they've thrown down. And that's the bar, man. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my Lord, that guy is so good. I love that stuff. Yeah, his Ghost Rider. So I have his Ghost Rider in here somewhere, I think. Let me see if I can scroll, because I don't want to play it. There's the piece we were talking about of Kubert's work, Alex Ross's stuff, John Byrne. I'm trying to make sure I got everybody, but here you go. One of the most iconic covers of all time. Of course, Shane is a massive, massive fan of his work. His ink work is beautiful. So I want to make sure that I, yeah, it is almost. It's almost like, yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it. I think his stuff may have been influenced by Gerald Scarfe and Gerald Scarfe is the guy who was influenced. Ralph Steadman definitely had a huge Ralph Steadman caricature art influence. So Ralph Steadman influenced Gerald Scarfe, and Gerald Scarfe's caricature work influenced the Disney movie Hercules, if you have that Art of book. So yeah. glow-in-the-dark cover. I remember where I was, like when I was in my house, and I had big windows, or not even big windows. I had a small window in my room that would never get all the light out. So I went into like my closet in my room with that glow-in-the-dark cover after putting it under my lamp, and it was like just glowing, man. It was awesome. Yes, just do your art, you'll be fine. And what, it's one of my 50 years of time. Oh my gosh, right? We're almost the same age. Holy cow. But let me see here. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Put his ankles in it, that's right. And hi, what's up, Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs? How are you doing? Long time no see. I hope you're well. Was Aeon Flux. Yes, the head too. Yeah. So Aeon Flux was a big influence on me. I used to draw that samurai character in the Aeon Flux longer short. And Peter Chung's artwork. I was super into Peter Chung's Egon Schiele influenced artwork. He just did some crazy stuff with figure. Yeah, Stedman's grotesque exaggeration for sure. What was the name? Was it Mr. Gone? Was the name of the villain? My brain is pudding right now. And yes, Jeremy Burtz is saying hi. Yes, Peter Chung. Yeah, I actually have. I don't know where I have it. Hang on a second. 1 second, guys. Let me put this back up on the screen just so it's a good. Is this gonna work? Nope, that didn't work at all. Or did I close Photoshop? Heaven help me. No, I didn't. Interesting. Clearly, I did something wrong. Photoshop. There we go. I'm going to put this on screen. You guys might even see me in the background walking, but let me see if I can grab this. Hang on 1 second. I think I have it around here somewhere. I'll probably not be able to find it now. Let me see. Nope. Pale Rider. It's going to be in there somewhere probably. I just got somewhere about 6 or so months ago, I think. I got the Aeon Flux DVDs. Where the heck are they? Not there. Not there. God, this is too many things. Oh, there it is. Wait, is that? No, that's not it. Shoot. Cyborg. Dr. Zhivago, Hard Target, Miyazaki, Metropolis. Lincoln. Dawn of the Dead. Where the heck did I put that? Oh, there it is. Staring me right in the face. Here we go. How it always works. Woo. All right, gang. One day you're going to hear that loud crash, and that's going to be all she wrote. So let me go here. Let me close that out. Yeah, I don't want to show that that video before John has premiered it. I just wanted to, only because of the Sam Keith thing. I had to talk about that. So, speaking of, we were just talking about this. Beowulf. So, yes, indeed, here is my Kino copy of the Golem Blu-ray. And I do hope that you do some more artwork, or if you haven't already, do some artwork of your Anne Frankenstein project. I really think that could be very cool. And then here is, because they haven't released it, I don't think, on Blu-ray yet. Here is my my Aeon Flux DVD I got not long ago. Really cool series. And really great stuff. So there you go. So from German Expressionist filmmaking, right? From the F.W. Murnau collection line from Kino Classics.
to Peter Chung and MTV's Aeon Flux. Yeah, isn't that great? What a great character. The more creative stuff that we take in and we put into our system, the better we are, man. I mean, I think that stuff, when I make Springball is going to be... I get excited about the books I do. I can't do it any other way. I'm so excited. It's taken so long to find the right printer. This printer's great, but I'm going to get those physical proofs. It's like I'm constantly thinking about the stuff that I need to get done and the things I want to do. I think it was... Well, I don't know what year the DVD came out. I mean, the DVD... Oh, 1995 was when it came out. So this is 1995, and this DVD came out 2019. Wow. That's practically recent. So when I'm looking at this stuff, guys, I'm like, I want to make books that you open up that are oversized, that are big, that feel like they're a special experience. Again, this is the scale Springball is going to be. So when you see Nosfero and you look at how it's put together, it's the same scale as what we were talking about last week on stream of like the Creepshow horror comic. It's the 8.5 by 11 magazine square bound, which always come bagged and boarded with the magazine sized bags and boards that you can get, right? So when you think about a double page spread in Springball, or when you think about that John Malin cover on Springball, it's going to blow your mind. There's not going to be type on it, although I'm going to talk to him about a type treatment I think could be cool, like a clear spot varnishy kind of thing. I don't know. John and I, like, it's fun to talk to John because he's so creative, man. It's such a relief. There's nothing worse than being really creative and excited about things than talking with somebody who's just a drip or, just has got nothing. Whenever I talk to John, it's like John has ideas and John spitballs and things. And he's like me. He makes sense to somebody who watches a video series called HD Trains, who has perhaps a touch of the tism. So when I get to do a double page spread in Nosfero, I mean, we're talking about an 11 by 17 massive spread. And the art edition, guys, I cannot wait to share that proof with you guys. I hope I can share it with you next Sunday. There's not going to be any text on that. The oxidized edition is going to have the new cover on it. But when I, design panels and artwork across a 2-page spread like I did for this one, it's just that format really, pages I can't show. There's nudity on the pages. You're not going to see it. But look at this. A double page trippy. By the way, this is also showing Sam Keith's influence, guys. Look at the sense of play, the sense of you can go in any direction. Look at that. I mean, what can't you do when you see people, great artists like Sam Keith and Mobius, I know, who was an influence on him, is an influence on me. Arzak was a huge influence on me, and I think Arzak was probably a big influence on the Max. Without a doubt, the Outback sequences in the Max. Oh my gosh, brains taste awful. I feel like I haven't seen you in this chat in a long time. I think I've seen you on other streams though. I've seen you on a lot of other streams that I'm on. But it's great to see you, man, or that I'm in the chat for. Was watching the Aeon Flux DVD with commentary on one episode. The writer-creator said he had no idea what's going on. That doesn't surprise me. And Hale, and I love seeing your profile pic, because one of my big influences for doing independent comics, and one of the reasons why I'm so grateful to you guys for backing Springball. The link's in the description if you have not backed Springball yet, guys. Every backer makes it count. It makes a difference. Anyway, I want to get back to this. Is watching the DVD, which I have over there, Birth of the Living Dead, where he passed away shortly after he did the interview. But it was, they interviewed zombie number 1 from Night of the Living Dead. And he just seemed like he loved the fans. He loved his place in history. So when I see his face in your profile pic, and of course by that point he was a lot older, and but he just was like, I love the fans. I love coming here. And
I take out the trash at home, but when I get at these fan events, I'm just a regular guy who takes out his trash and goes to work. But when I come to these events, I feel such a special person, and I want to make sure everybody has a good experience. He's such a good dude. Yes, the great Bill Hinsman. And yes, in that interview, he's in a mall when they were doing a zombie walk in a mall way back when they made that documentary. And you can just see, much like Peter Cushing's reaction to seeing Christopher Lee in that video I posted on X, when you see people who are enthusiastic and are really genuine good people, it's not something you can fake, and it's certainly not something you can find the people in your personal life like willing to like go to war over the fact it's like, no, you don't understand. And Peter Cushing was one of those guys, and when you see him, you can tell there's probably a million amazing did you like any of the trauma stuff? I did, actually. I did. I love seeing spell checks. Shanty. It does that to me when I sign letters. I've signed letters. Shanty. It's freaking hilarious. Cranberry Langers, channel member. It's great to see you, brother. So glad you made it here. Let me see. Happiness is another full bookshelf. It's true. Happiness is a skull replica and tons of books. The Ralph McQuarrie Star Wars books, the Ivan Earl books, Dark Knight Returns, The Rocketeer, Kurosawa's paintings, all of that stuff, man. All of that stuff is there. All of it is just a big part of the whole experience, the whole process of making this stuff. And my bookshelves are floor to ceiling in many cases, and it is just a ton of stuff. It's all stuff I use for inspiration, and it's all stuff I love to share with you guys when we do this stuff. Sundays, is one of those times. It's like the week is starting. It's a day of peace. It's a day of reflection. It's got its religious significance. And I think it's a great time to get together and talk about books, talk about all the cool stuff going on in Comicsgate. There's so many books that are launching. I know Aaron Lopresti has a book that just launched. I know, of course, we've got the John Malin cover that was just shared by Joe Sontag for the Second Chance campaign for Reaper Destroyer. We've got, I think Mandy has a book. Does Mandy have a book coming out, or am I having a stroke? Somebody let me know. Twins of Evil is my first Hammer movie and my favorite. Oh, man. I'm never going to be able to leave you guys. Oh, man. Where is it? Hang on. Shoot. Where is it? I just saw it the other day. So it's got to be here. Hang on. It's not there. There it is. Got it. Twins of Evil is my first Hammer film. Love that movie. And I love the Collinsons in that movie. They're so great. And it's so much so that in Art Book 2, she's making a new book. Good. If there are links to any of this stuff, I have a book and I'm Comicsgate. I love to hear it, bootlegger. I love to hear it. Share the name of the book, please. So people know. Is it coming out or is it funding? So this right here is a little one-page story I did to test out Painted Story. There's the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder, because I'm a boxing fan. This was done in 2020, and there is one of the Collinsons from Twins of Evil in it. And this is the story. And so this was me doing a story, and I wish I could have gotten that likeness better, but this is me doing a story that was influenced by the Collinsons in Twins of Evil. So yeah, the Collinsons are 100%, and Twins of Evil is 100% an influence on it. So this is a cross between Hammer Horrors, Twins of Evil, my love of boxing, and of course Blade, one of my favorite movies of all time. And frankly, my favorite Marvel Comics movie. Let me see here. She is making a new book, apparently. Awesome. Very cool. Are we talking about Keith's... Oh, shoot, it just jumped. Are we talking about Sam Keith's effect on artists? Well, we were talking about just honoring him and Sam Keith's influence and impact on me, definitely. But yeah, his influence on everybody, but just celebrating you know, to the best I can. And I'm sure in the chat, of course, celebrating Sam Keith. What an amazing guy. Hanging out with CG makes me feel less weird. Amen. There you go. Yeah. She and Peter are working on another Jack the Ripper. That's my favorite series, man. Love that stuff. So yes, Twins of Evil, man. Let me see. Which thing are we talking about now? Are we talking about Mandy's Cranberry Landers? Are we talking about Mandy's book? The Jack the Ripper book? I feel like I missed something. Hang on. Bootlegger Entertainment, already done, I believe. Oh, it's already done. Already done. Cool. Oh, yes, they're doing another one. Oh, Jack the Ripper, Monster Hunter. Is that what it is? Is that the name of it? Very cool. Sorry, what were you guys talking about? Looks gorgeous. What was I showing? Was it the, oh my gosh. My working memory is done. Let me see here. But, Sam, was I showing, Sam Keith before? I can't even remember what I was showing. I showed... Let me see here. Was it a Blu-ray? Let me see. Oh, geez. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Just sounded like a character out of Fargo. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. All right. You got me. Oh. My brain will work one of these days. I feel like Simple Jack understands my journey. Oh, what's up, Dross Zombie? It's great to see you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I can't wait. The last copies of Art Book 2 are going to be fulfilled as a part of the Nosfero Second Chance campaign. And of course, like I said, next week I'm going to be sharing with you guys the proofs of Nosfero, both books, the art edition and the oxidized edition. I'm hoping you guys know, if you've been here for more than a few minutes, oh my gosh, yeah, it's scary. It's really, I mean, it can't be long before either the bookshelves collapse and kill me, or I'm put in a home for my own good. But yes, thank you to the mighty Sam Keith for all the memories, all the inspiration, all of the artwork, and God bless you, and safe travels onto the next life, and onto the afterlife, and may God bless your family and keep them during this time. Just an amazing artist, had a huge personal impact on me creatively. And welcome, Draw Zombie, and so grateful for all of the artists who've inspired my stuff, and all of the fellowship of all of my artist brothers, you know, in Comicsgate. I think everybody's doing just killer stuff right now. And as I said at the beginning, and during the stream, is that you guys are here as flies on the wall when I'm making Springball, when I'm painting Nosfero, when I'm working on new characters and future projects, and when we're creating stuff, whether it's, you know, intros and videos for streams or anything else. And when you back these books, not only are you getting a story, not only are you getting comic book artwork, you're also, you know, and not only is it a pre-order, not only are you someone who's a producer on this book in that sense, but you're also getting something that in many ways is a memento, is a yearbook that will not only show you art, but will help you to remember and remind you of conversations that we had about artwork and books as all this stuff was being made, as all of these things were going through their various stages of development. And to me, that's one of the biggest things that hits me when I look at these books. I remember where I was painting on something when I was working, what streams we were talking about, whether it's the very first Nosfero book reaching the $5,000 funding goal it had on Pete Cimetti's stream when I was $5 shy. And one of you amazing people came in there and were like, I've already backed the book, but I've got you. I'm going to donate $5 to put it to 5K and have it hit its funding goal, to where we are now. I mean, I think of all of it. I'm so grateful to all of you guys. And I appreciate you guys, you know, being here. And where the heck did it go? I tell you what, this studio is a mess, I say. It's a mess. Where the heck did I put that? Dun, dun, dun. Oh well, we'll figure it out one of these days. But I am grateful to all of you guys. I was going to see if I could hit play on that thing, but then I was like, whatever. We'll do it later. Thank you so much, Oddballs. I appreciate it. And thank you for the wonderful, wonderful figure. I do appreciate and love my Thulu and all of the cool stuff that you guys are making out in the world. So, when you're doing something cool, let me know. And I love to check that stuff out, guys. So, all right, I think my brain is officially run out of energy. Thank you, Mikey's Madness. I do appreciate the kind words. Thank you. 2026 is going to be, I know it's going to be. I was thinking that just the other day. I was thinking, I feel this this energy and this excitement that I always generally feel, but I think it's something more. I wish I knew where the heck I put that thing. It's driving me nuts. All right, I'm going to fight my OCD on that. But I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you. Yeah, mess equals creative mind. From your lips to God's ears, sister, and God bless you. And of course, the great Mr. Kirst. Let me see here. All right, I think we're all set, guys. Thank you guys so much. And I appreciate you guys so much for your support. From the heart of Lovecraft Country and the birthplace of American religious liberty, my name is Shanth and Jetty. You've been watching Shanth and Jetty Art. As I always like to say, speak easy, stay gold, keep the faith, and peace be with you guys on this wonderful, wonderful Sunday. I haven't yet, but I'm working on it. When time, send me a message, but I'll let you know when time frees up, because I have a really big guitar commission I'm working on right now. And once that's done, I would be happy to put you on deck. Let me know. I must be super creative then. I've been there. Be good, my friend. And God bless you, Tiny Everett. And thank you for being one of the original true believers. I appreciate you, my friend. And Springball wouldn't be Springball without you. And my enthusiasm for the project wouldn't be my enthusiasm without you. It was so tough to make a comic book during that time without Comicsgate, with printing costs and all the difficulties of promotion. And my respect to everyone who was able to do it. But for those of you guys who found Springball and took it to your heart back then, you guys are special and gold to me, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Timmy Mello. Thank you, Cranberry Langers. Thank you, channel members. Your names are going to be in the credits coming up. Thank you, Siege Perilous. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Darth Gutierrez. Always appreciate seeing you. Leighton Gay, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a channel member and supporting everything that I'm doing right now. It's Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs. So great to see you. Until we meet again, as I say. Wonderful. Yes, indeed. I have no doubt. Thank you, Comic Books in Cahoots. Let's see. Thank you, Cursed Heart Creations. Thank you for the wonderful gift and all of the enthusiasm. Thank you, Rachel Brinkley, for talking monsters and creature design and all that. Appreciate it. Let me see who else I've got. I've got Mikey's Madness here. Thank you, Mikey's Madness. Thank you, Bootlegger Entertainment. So glad to have you here. It is going to be a great year. Soul Curial, thank you for being here. Draw Zombie, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Grey Wolf Graphics, thank you. Great to see you here. Let's see if I know I've missed a bunch of people, so apologies if I've missed you. Thank you, Brains Taste Awful, and thank you for bringing the name of the man to this chat. Thank you, Orbital Hub. And let me see what else I've got. If I got anybody else, and thank you, Jeremy Burtz, and congratulations on that great piece, by the way, and thank you, Spaceman. Great to see you here. All of you guys are much, much appreciated. I will see you guys very, very soon. Hopefully I'll have the energy. I don't have to have anything done, I think, on Monday. So we'll it depends on how it goes on Monday, but I really hope to, because I miss those guys terribly. And yes, have a great week, everybody. Much love. And guys, here you go. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful Sunday. Take care of yourselves. And here are the channel members who make all of this stuff possible. God bless you guys. I'll see you very, very soon, I promise. Take care.